I was into drugs.
I was very codependent, very in denial about my addiction.
Real dependent on others to take care of me, real obviously dependent on welfare.
We didn't have anywhere to go. I didn't have the money to go back east.
And I knew something had to change. I mean, like, what right did I have to bring another child into this world if I can't even take care of these two?
Couch to couch, living in an RV, staying in motels.
It was just supposed to be temporary, and it kind of turned a week, turned into a month, turned into a whole school year.
I just didn't care. I was just out there.
Well, I didn't know what I was going to do with my kids.
By the time I got to Solutions, I was so ready.
The purpose of Solutions for Change, the reason for our existence, is to solve family homelessness, one family, one community at a time. First, let's talk about the problem. We describe the problem as the churn, and the churn is this cycle of in and out of services, shelters, to try to help the person get out of homelessness, but largely are just treating symptoms. Those things just scratch the surface of what the person really needs. And we see about 20% of the folks that are in the churn here actually get out. The other 80% continue the churn over and over and over again. We call this whole thing the containment model because what it's doing is containing the impacts of homelessness.
I've been struggling with drug addiction since I was about 12 years old. I've done recovery before. I've been in a rehab. I've had sobriety, and I didn't keep it. I couldn't keep it. It was like my rock bottom, you know? I was crying. I was praying to a God that I didn't know or understand at that time, and I stumbled upon a phone number for Solutions for Change.
It was scary for me, the thought of change, and I didn't know what it would be like in there. And then I thought, is it too late to go back? But then I thought there's nothing to go back to.
I've been in the program for about 3 weeks. I'm grateful to be here. At first, I thought that it was gonna be crazy, a shelter. I was like, whoa. But it turns out to be a program where they help you become independent.
I thought, okay, I'm gonna get my family a place to live, and then after a while, I just realized I had so many deeper problems.
I had a lot of trauma, and my family as well. And I really didn't know how to deal with it. I didn't know anything about going to counseling. They provided that.
They give you counseling. They help you with classes that you need. They provide everything.
They gave me a safe place to call home while I could work on myself.
Maybe 15 years ago, there weren't many children in the churn. But today, we know that there are about 500,000 children in the United States of America that touch this churn. Some of them stay in it for months or even years. This is outrageous. This is unacceptable. This is what gets us up every day here to help these families get out of the churn. What we're really talking about here is what that means 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now, where these kids aren't going to grow up to be the next generation of homeless.
It's very important that my kids see me as a role model, and that I set an example, and that I do the right thing, because how can I expect them to be right and proper if I'm not?
Being where we were, and we've never been homeless, to having that label, I think it was so rough for them.
My kids are the ones that inspire me to do better.
They need to be able to come out of that. They need to learn to express themselves and be themselves. And I need to be accepting of who they are. Whatever it is they choose. I learned that here. That's big, because that's their life. That's the rest of my life.
When we first came in, they were known as the Screamer Twins. They were 3 years old, and all they ever did was scream and scream. With my attitude changed, their attitudes changed.
Just being home and cooking dinner and showing an interest and going, you got to show up to these parent-teacher conferences and get them to their football games and their cheerleading games. I mean, just the fact that I'm doing it.
They play with other kids, and they talk so well, like they communicate with me.
I just hope that one day they're gonna appreciate it and be thankful, because I think if somebody had ever done that for me, maybe I would have lived up to my potential a lot sooner than 37 years old.
The economic cost of this over the years, there's been many studies, but about $60,000 a year for a person to be in this system. So talking about emergency rooms and shelters and interventions, police interventions and other social service interventions. When you add all this up over 4 decades of doing this model, you're talking about billions and billions and billions of dollars lost. So this is really a symptom relief model where people are cycling in and out at a very, very expensive cost.
We want them to be able to get that job. We want them to be able to save their money.
I want them to be willing. I want them to be open to change, and I want them to trust us that we know the way. And I want them to stay until the miracle occurs for them and their family.
All the clients that I've worked with here, there's never been a case of them not wanting to find their own place.
I expect to be independent. I expect to get off of welfare, to do my own thing, to have my own house with my kids.
And the mission of North County Solutions for Change is to end family homelessness in North San Diego County. And so how we define end is by this word solve. And by solve, we mean more, better, faster access to permanent solutions. We call this the solutions model. We've worked for many years to develop a model that we call the Solutions University, 1,000 days to a permanent solution. We're talking about more, better, faster access to homes, not shelters, access to education, access to jobs and employment-related training, access to health-related solutions. And when you bundle all that together, that is our delivery of permanent solutions to families and to the community.
Weekly case management, 12-step meetings, all our classes, which include parenting, anger management, frameworks, codependence classes. If they continue to do those things, then they continue to reap the benefits.
I was resentful being here because I really lost control of what I thought I had on my kids.
Well, at first I was like, all right, let's get through these classes. I'll remember what they want me to remember and I'll write it down.
Once we show them the way, the ones that are willing, they do it. They want to end their homelessness. They will do anything it takes to put a roof over their kids' heads and theirself.
I learned a lot, so much.
To this day, I'm learning. I'm still working on things, and they're still helping me.
I went straight from a teenager to, parent, being a mom. And I wish they would have given me classes on it, and now they actually have.
And that light goes on and they're like, okay, well maybe my way hasn't been working very well and I should try something else.
That's what the program is about. That change is necessary for your family to be whole. And I can't even express how I've changed. I just know I wake up different, I think differently, I'm doing things differently, and I'm doing it. Every day, I'm doing it.
For them, ending the cycle is huge. They're just so excited and they have so much gratitude.
It's a team working together to help us out, to help us get forward in life. It's wonderful. I think God brought me here for a reason.
The cost of putting one person through 1 year of the Solutions University is $7,500. With families of average of 3, that's $22,500 per year. Now, when you look at our outcomes, we have a 65% success rate within the first 500 days of the Solutions University, and then a 93% success rate of those that make it to the second 500 days because it's a 1,000-day partnership to solve this problem permanently. So we look at the cost of containing it versus the cost of solving it. And what we quickly see is that the cost of solving it is far less, 1/3, even a quarter of the cost of containing it.
It's gradual, it's a little bit here and there. It's like maybe you get your court stuff taken care of, and then now maybe you're getting a license, you're on job search, you're getting a job, you're paying taxes, you're getting tax refunds. It's like a grown-up, you're paying bills. It's like, it sounds crazy, but it felt good to pay my bills. It felt good to bill comes in the mail and this is due on this date and pay it. It was a new concept,
A lot of people in these apartments tell me how awesome it is that I'm getting it, that I'm so young and I'm getting to know all these lessons so early.
Well, we see people that have gone through horrible losses in their life, people who have been really hurt as kids. Sometimes it can take months to really identify this, and how that happens is through building trust. We have to go deeper with the families. And our hand reaches out and we say, no, that's not how it's going to be. We are going to be here with you as you climb out of this abyss. And then we climb out of it, and we climb out together. And as we're doing that, yeah, it's messy. Yeah, sometimes it's scary. They want to run. Sometimes we want to run. And it is an enormously challenging yet amazingly beautiful thing to be part of.
It's kind of like the layers of the onion, right? At first, they just want to show us what they want to show us.
It's getting deeper, and it's getting in touch with what really brought them here.
Once they're able to kind of open up to you, then it's like these little layers of the onion getting peeled.
Drugs may have brought them here, but it was something deeper than just drugs.
Taking the history and actually letting them have an open place to talk about that history and actually heal from that history.
As they move through the program, they become healthier, and so they live their lives differently, and that has an impact on their future success.
When I first found out about my codependency and everything, I thought, wow, there's other people that go through the same stuff, that think the same way I do.
I let go of a lot of hurt. I embraced a newfound hope. I embraced love on a different level. Oh my gosh, I actually learned to love myself here.
I just really, truly, inside, I felt like I knew it was gonna be okay.
It took a lot of work to let go and to actually do it on my own, to actually make this work. And I don't see any other way of life than to have gone through this program.
It's been a journey that I had not anticipated, but it has been so good for us, so healing.
So when families come to us, what we see is no home, no job, no car, spiritually crippled, kids that are not healthy. We see depression, relationships broken, really just in dire, dire straits. And at the end of the process, the partnership with them after the 1,000 days, we see a family that is emotionally, mentally, physically, and spiritually healthy again. To think that this is where they were, and then 1,000 days later to see where they're at is a complete transformation.
Now I can see my family coming together. It's almost like a plant, a little plant tendling. Now I see it coming, and I'm grateful for the process, although I wasn't necessarily sure of it.
I can do it on my own. I can be independent, and there's always time for change, always.
I am so committed. I'm blessed to be here.
It was hard for me. I don't know that most people can lose themselves in a year and become someone else, but I had to do a transformation. It was necessary for my family.
I've always known that I had it in me to be a proper mother, to be a proper woman, to be a daughter. It's in me, I've always known that it was there, and Solutions really kind of gave me the foundation to blossom into the woman and mother that I am.
I just take it day by day, and I know that as long as I make, today better than what it was yesterday, then I'm doing what I need to do to be a better parent every day.